Hi everyone. In this video, I want to do a review of the underwater cases available for the Xiaomi camera in terms of quality, water resistance and vignetting. Let's have a look which cases are available. Currently, I'm aware of 5 different models. Let's start with the original case from Xiaomi. The camera slides in and fits perfectly into the case. When closing the door, the sealing seems to be very tight. You can feel it when trying to open the door again, as you have to pull strongly. In general, it makes a very good impression in terms of quality. The cap also locks the case perfectly, and it seems very tight and sealed. There is no visible gap between door and case. There is enough space around the lens, which we'll take a look on later when discussing vignetting. The buttons are comfortably to press, and you don't have to push hard. There are some reported issues of broken buttons. They seem to be fine on this model. I'll keep you updated on my blog about this issue. It is also very easy to get the camera back out of the case again. Be careful when ordering the original case, as there are fakes out there. It's hard to spot the difference from photos. The fake ones also have the Yi logo on top of the cap. In contrast to the fake ones, the original case comes in a box similar to the one of the camera. A GoPro adapter with a 1/4-inch thread is included. The next model I want to show you is the 60-meter model. It is the only model available which is 60-meter waterproof. All the other ones are 40-meter waterproof. It can be recognized by the screws around the lens housing and the red sealing. The quality also seems to be very good. The sealing doesn't keep the door shut itself as tight as the original model, but the cap adds unyielding pressure and it seems to be locked very tight. There is not the slightest gap between the door and the case. The buttons also work very well. You don't have to push hard. A little downside here, that water takes some time to dry up around them. This model comes with a GoPro quick connector. It is very easy to get the camera back out of the case again. You have to be a little careful when opening the case, as the cap might get loose. But when the cap is hooked in, the case seems to be locked superbly. The next model I call PreOrder model, as it was the first underwater case which was available for pre-order at many retailers. When you open the case, you will notice that the cap gets loose easily, which is very bothersome. The door doesn't stick to the case from the sealing alone. The camera fits in perfectly and the cap locks case and door very well. It doesn't seem that the loose cap is an issue when the case is closed. The quality is not very convincing. You can see the button is not centered in the cap opening. But worse, there is a gap visible between case and door, but the area is covered by the sealing. You have to push the buttons way harder than the ones at the other two models, but they just work fine. This case also comes with the GoPro quick connector. What's also very bothersome with this case, it is hard to get the camera back out of the case again. It is stuck pretty well inside the case and you have to fiddle around for some time to get it out. The next one I want to show you is the case from Kingma. It is available with different cap colors. Some photos don't show the Kingma logo on top, so there might be lookalikes from this one as well. The most noticeable difference of the Kingma cases and lookalikes is the squared lens housing. I can't tell about the quality as I didn't get one myself, but I have some test pictures to show vignetting later on. The last of the 5 models I'm aware of is this one. It looks a bit like the pre-order model, but the cap is rounded towards the front. It is also available with different cap colors. I've seen black, green and white ones. As this question comes up very often, the Xiaomi camera cannot be used with a GoPro or SJ Cam case. Here you can see a GoPro Hero 3 case on the left and a SJ Cam case on the right. The lens and the buttons are located at different positions on the Xiaomi camera. Now you have seen the cases, let's test the water resistance. This is just a basic test I do before throwing the case with the camera into the water. Be aware, it's just to check the basic water resistance, as water pressure several meters below surface is not considered. If you go diving with your camera, I'd recommend doing the first dive just with the case to check it. I folded some paper towels, which soak up water strongly, and put them in the cases. Now let's place them into a bowl of water. I pressed the buttons several times to check them and then let them stay underwater for some time. When you are doing the test, make sure the water temperature is about the same as the room temperature. If the water is too cold, there might occur condensed water within the case and you can't be sure if it came from outside. Well, in general, fogging is a problem for all the action cameras and the cases. There are anti-fog strips, which you can stick inside the case to get better results. You'll find more information on my blog and in the video description. The cases stayed in the water for about 30 minutes. When you take them out, make sure you dry them so that the towels inside the case don't get wet. Well, let me just summarize the result. Every paper towel stayed dry during my test. I want to show you each result really quick. The original case, you can see no wet spot on the towel at all. Same result for the 60-meter model, no wet spots are visible on the towel as well. Also the pre-order model, which showed some gaps between door and case, stayed dry. For this case, I can also show you some test footage I did. During this shooting, the inside of the case also stayed dry. Now let's take a look at vignetting. The Xiaomi Yi has a very wide angle. If there is not enough space around the lens, or the case sticks out next to the lens, you will notice darker edges in your picture. For that reason, I filmed a white wall to give you more contrast. At first, let's take a look at the original case. It shows excellent results in video mode. More important is photo mode, as the video is cropped at the bottom and at the top to a 16:9 format. In photo mode, you can see dark edges, a little more visible on the right. It seems that the lens of my camera is not centered in the housing of the camera. I will take a closer look at this when I do a video about the lens and focus problem of the Xiaomi camera. If you switch on lens rectification, you don't notice any vignetting in video mode as well as in photo mode. Next up, the 60-meter model. It also shows excellent results. It has just a little more vignetting than the original case, but you can hardly notice the difference. Also in photo mode, the edges are a little darker and a bit more washed out compared to the original model. When switching on lens rectification in the settings, there is no vignetting in video mode as well as in photo mode. Let's take a look at the pre-order model. You can see pretty strong vignetting in video mode as the edges of the case are visible. It's even worse when switching to photo mode. The edges of the case are clearly visible here. Despite the fact that my camera has an issue that the lens is shifted a little to the right, you can see dark corners at the left side of the frame as well. So when the lens is centered, you will get pretty dark edges on both sides of the frame. This problem can only be solved by turning on lens rectification in the settings. Then vignetting is gone in video mode as well as in photo mode. I don't have the Kingma case myself, but I got some test results where you can see pretty dark edges in photo mode when lens rectification is turned off. I got test results from several users on my blog, so check out their photos there and compare them yourself. So what's my conclusion? My favorite case is the original one, which showed the best results in all areas. Very good quality, the best cap design and locking mechanism, and no vignetting problem at all. Second place for the 60-meter model. Also very good quality and a superb sealing, not the slightest gap between case and door. The cap may come off when opening, that's a little bothersome. But a big plus is that it is 60-meter waterproof if you want to go diving. I wouldn't buy the pre-order model again. The cap gets loose very easily and it's pretty hard to get the camera out of the case, and that is very bothersome. Also vignetting looks pretty bad. I have not tested the Kingma case, but the test photos show some vignetting worse than the original and the 60-meter model, so I'm not excited about this one as well. The rounder cap model also seems to have very little space around the lens, so I don't expect great results from this one. Again, I have not tested them, so that's just my opinion I got from the pictures. If you got test results from that cases or you want to share your thoughts, please leave your comments below. I hope you liked this video. Please subscribe to my channel. Next up will be a time-lapse tutorial, as a new feature, video time-lapse, was just released with the latest firmware. Thanks for watching and see you then.